A superhero can be created from almost anything, human or otherwise. It's done in animation all the time. The Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz, an animated train that seems to be alive, the dancing broom in The Sorcerer's Apprentice. All of these are examples of taking inanimate objects and making them live. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, that drawing funny is easy because the drawing looks simpler. And that's wrong. It's harder to know what to leave out than it is to know what to put in. And it's only by careful observation that you can eventually develop the judgment necessary for that kind of simplification. Check out the examples in your coursework book and see what you can do on your own. Action is the basis of the superhero. The hero's got to move. First, though, get the feeling of the movement, like this. Follow me? As an artist, it's important that you note very carefully what goes on around you, what happens in your daily life. Study, observe, notice how a kid moves, or how he runs, or how an old man walks, or how he sits down. Try to get all these elements into your drawing. People react in all different kinds of ways when they're scared. Some cower or retreat. Others maybe just put their hands up to protect themselves. The kind of emotion that you get into the character that you're drawing really comes from yourself. You're the actor. You're setting that character up. And you've got to really dig inside yourself to make sure that the character that you're drawing acts the way you want him to act. You can tell the difference between superheroes because of the differences in their costumes. Costumes should give an idea of the powers that each superhero possesses. And when you design a superhero's costume, remember, you can use different parts of those things that might have existed in the past, like a knight's helmet, or his gloves, or his boots, or armaments, for the costumes of your superhero today.
Whenever Joe goes to a museum, he takes a sketchbook with him. Take yours wherever you go.
You have to know that the character doesn't change physically with a change of clothing. If a superhero is heavily muscled, he doesn't discard his muscles when he puts on a suit. Study clothing designers in magazines and in newspapers, and their illustrations will give you the clue as to the proper style and fit of clothing. The more imaginative and fantastic the character is in an illustration, the more important it is to have realistic backgrounds. Watch this. If my superhero is flying over a city that's drawn looking like a bunch of cardboard boxes, even I wouldn't believe he's real. But if the city looks convincing, then maybe my superhero is real too. To accomplish this, you must have good references. Realistic photographic references. A building must look like a building with real bricks and real windows. A tree has to look like a real tree, like this. Any drawing sequence can be heightened by adding weather elements or the time of day or night. For instance, there are lots of different ways of drawing snow. It is necessary to have a firm idea in mind when you plan out the area in which your action is taking place. Do some sketching of it first. Figure out where you're locating the doors and the windows. Work it like a stage set. Where's the furniture going to stand so that the background will be right from all different angles? Sure, it takes time to draw effective backgrounds, but you can find real pleasure in it. Train yourself not to rush to completion. You must learn to enjoy the process, and then you'll really see some improvement occurring to your work. Writing and drawing for comics are two separate and distinct jobs. Don't try to do them at the same time. You start first with the story. Once you have the story down, then you start to illustrate it by breaking the story down into its segments. The layout and composition of a comic book page has to be designed to attract a reader. If the book looks boring, your audience will not want to read the material. If the page looks too busy and too difficult to follow, the reader will be repelled by that page. Pre-sketches and thumbnail sketches are an absolute must so that you make your mistakes before you actually put your material on the good paper. Don't start your drawing by doing details. Rough out your drawing first. Only after you have your roughs done should you incorporate the details.